Hey everybody, it's Mr. Garrett. As you know, we're doing a bunch of videos on the expanded core curriculum. So one area I wanted to work on today was independent living skills. So what we're going to do is we're going to learn how to wash dishes properly using soap, water, sponges, that kind of stuff. All right, let's go. All right, so now in order for us to get started, we just got to make sure we have all our materials and everything set up. So the first thing I would recommend is a towel. Could be a normal kitchen towel. I would keep that over your shoulder. Also is a sponge. You'll need that. So I use the ones that have a sponge on one side and a little bit of a rough texture on the other for scrubbing, for those stains or stuff that's crusted on. Another thing is a bottle brush, which is a wire with bristles at the end that can get into straws and bottles and that kind of stuff if you're cleaning it. And most importantly is dishwashing detergent. So liquid detergent is what we use. So, and if you come on over here, and then we have the sink. So I have the dirty dishes on the right hand side, and on the left hand side I have a clean sink. I use a 2-sink system to be able to wash and clean and rinse the dishes. Alright, so before we get started, real quick, I just want to make mention, if you have any kind of rings or watches on, I would take those off and put them off to the side. So this way, even though they may be waterproof, you don't want them slipping down the drain or anything. Now, like I said earlier, I use a 2-sink system. So most sinks will have some sort of stopper or something you can put in. So I'll put that into the left-hand side. I will turn on, I use warm water at first, not too hot. So I'll start putting that in there, filling up that side. Turn that a little bit lower so we can talk. All right, great. What I do, I get the sponge nice and wet. I put about the size of a quarter to a $half size amount of soap on there. Squeeze it a couple times, put it under the water, and you are ready to go. Okay, so we have our sink with the left-hand side. We have some warm or hot soapy water here. We have our sponge, we have our dirty dishes. So I'm going to start out by cleaning the larger items first. So I have here a large lid to a bowl. You can use either side of the sponge. If there's not a lot of crusted on stuff to the dish, you can just kind of go round and round, circular motions, get in all the crevices on the edges, just do the top and bottom. You can go around the rim. So you can place this sponge in your hand, wrap it around the edge of the lid, get it nice and soapy, and then we'll just have it sit in the water for now, and we'll get back to that later. Same thing with a cup. Again, if there's stuff stuck to it or crusted onto the bottom, you can use some warm water in there, get it down to the bottom, push the sponge all the way down to the bottom, go in like a circular motion to be able to get to the bottom, to the rim. That's where you put your mouth, get on the outside, put it back in. So I'm going to wash a couple different dishes here for you to see. So here we have, this is a mat for my daughter's food. So again, use the scrubby side, get all the surface area covered. And again, this is going to be hard at first, but the more you do it, the more you practice it, just like anything else, you'll get better at it. So I get it nice and soapy, scrub all the sides, put it in the water. Now when you're doing any kind of silverware, here's a fork. Try to have the sharp edges pointed away from you and just be very, very careful while you're doing it. You may want to have your parents help you out initially. But, forks and knives and stuff, just be very careful of the sharp edges. So, I'm going to continue washing these dishes, and once I get them all washed and put on this side, I'll be back. Alright, now we have all the dishes that are washed, which means they have soap on them. So, I have this one towel here. I grabbed the second towel, which I'm going to put on the countertop here. A lot of times in your sink or your kitchens, you may have dish racks. So we have a dish rack here that we have that goes over our sink. It's shaped in like, it's 2 parallel lines with a perpendicular line going across the top. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to be using the dish rack that I have and also the towel to the right of the sink. Alright, so I'm pretty much done with the sponge for now, so I'm going to put that out of the way for now, but we'll need that at the end. So I'm going to start running warm to the touch water, and then you want to make sure that you rinse off all the soap. But that's why it's important to really do a good job cleaning with lots of soap and water, because you don't want to have it where you get food particles or soap left on there or grease. So you rinse it till you get off as much soap as you possibly can. Shake out the excess water, and you can put it on your dish drainer, or you can put it on the towel. So again, you just want to make sure. Now I'm low vision, so it's hard for me to necessarily tell by sight. So a lot of times you can tell by touch, and something you'll get a feel for the touch when it actually feels clean. It won't feel greasy, it won't feel soapy, it'll just feel clean. Alright, so when you're washing dishes, it's also important you put them on the dish rack. Make sure there's air underneath, because if you leave it, say, on the towel where there's no air to get to it, it's going to get musty or possibly mildewy. So you want to make sure you have air being able to circulate up and around the items. So I'm going to continue to rinse off these dishes, and I'll see you soon. Alright, so we have our washed and rinsed dishes both on the dish rack and this towel over here. So now I would take out the stopper on the left hand side of the sink, and similar to how you wash the dishes, you're just going to kind of rinse off the sink, make sure there's no soap or anything left behind. So we do that on both sides. Alright. Now that that's done, I would grab a towel, preferably a dry and clean one, and similar to how he washed and rinsed the dishes, you're going to just take the item, take the towel, get in on the inside. Like right now I'm cleaning a very small orange cup that my daughter uses to play with. So I'm going around the outside and the inside. Just use the towel on top of your hand or your fingers, dry as thoroughly as you can, and then we'll put on the side. And then once we're done drying, we'll be putting these away. Alright friends, thank you for watching the video today. If you have any questions or anything, feel free to reach out to me, gpendergast@seeitourway.org, and let me know what videos you want to see or stuff you want to learn how to do while you're at home. Alright? Take care for now. Bye.